All right, folks, how are you doing? I've got a bit of a blue t-shirt on tonight. Just noticed that in the camera there. I can see myself. It's a bit bright for me. Normally it will be black only. Richard Haler in the house from Miami. Good evening. I just see, well, good afternoon to you. Just saw Steve Gidwaney here as well. Thank you for retweeting, Steve. Bobby is here now as well from Ireland. We've got people in from all around the world. Rich says he's in. Awesome stuff, guys. How are you doing? Good to hear from you. Steve says right colour. You're not United fan, Steve. You're not. You're City, aren't you? That's why he likes the blue. I hope everyone is well. Lucy is here as well. Do us a favour, man. Before we begin, because this is quite like a universal topic tonight. It's not just like to do with acting. It's to do with like just people in 2018, really. Drop us a retweet. Give us a retweet. Give us a share on Facebook. Let your mates know. Bring people to the party you might not have been here before. Let them into the family. We do this every Monday and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for those who are joining for the first time tonight. Tonight we do something called the Acts on This TV Book Club, where we look at a book for a month, an entire month. We look at it once a week for an entire month, so we get through like 4 chapters of it, and then if people really like it, you can go to Amazon and buy it. And if you watch it on the replay on YouTube or on actsonthis.tv, you'll see a link below this video where you can actually go over to Amazon and buy the book. How is everybody? Anyone got anything important they want to announce before we begin? Tonight we're looking at a subject that's like probably quite controversial. We're looking at the subject of narcissism, and I think, like, do you know what, though? I'm going to hold my hands up. Do you think we're all a little bit narcissistic at times, aren't we? Surely to God. This isn't like, oh, I've never been narcissistic ever. You know, I think it's got like a really like bad connotation attached to it, but I think we're all like, you know, we like being a centre of attention sometimes, right? Got a voiceover audition on Friday, says Bobby. Awesome, Bobby. Let us know how that goes, mate. That's really cool. But yeah, who thinks that, you know, I'd put my hands up and say occasionally, I'm sure, like, I can be guilty of this. Not in like a crazy way, but I'm sure, you know, sometimes we like attention. We're not all called Pat Phelan, says Steve, one for the Corrie fans. He's a narcissist. Pat Phelan is a bloody narcissist on Coronation Street, 100%, although he takes it to the extreme where he just shoots people in the head if they don't like him. So I don't think any of us are that bad. Kind of the opposite from what we're just focusing on, says John. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's definitely not a great trait, John, narcissism, but I think people confuse it sometimes with like, well, we're going to look at it tonight basically in this book. The book we're looking at, Alison's here as well, good evening, it's called, I've said this so many times, but I don't like the title of it because I think it could be better. The title is How to Be a Happy Actor in a Challenging Business, and I don't think it does the book justice at all because I think the last 3 chapters we've read have been brilliant, been very, very good. It's by an ex-actor, Justina Vail. It wasn't like super famous, but was earning $500,000 a year in Hollywood. Now I think that's successful, and she got that without the fame and all the trappings that go with that. So yeah, you know, she did pretty well. Then she turned into she retired into a bit of a kind of like acting coach, life coach, psychologist kind of person, and she wrote this book called How to Be a Happy Actor in a Challenging Business. Like I say, could have had a better title. Narcissism is what we're going to look at tonight, and I think it's particularly relevant in 2018 with social media. I think I'm such a massive fan of Instagram, massive fan of Twitter, massive fan of YouTube, you know, and I do my vlog, which could be seen as like hugely narcissistic. I have a cameraman follow me around 2 days of the week filming my life. But I try in those, and you're going to see, particularly in season 2 of the vlog, which comes out on Monday, that actually, you know, the reason I do that is to give value. That isn't like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, take. This is to give other people value. So I hope people don't see that as narcissistic, but it could be seen as narcissistic if you don't watch it. So I think this is quite a relevant topic. So it starts off, are we ready? Should we have a little read? And Richard says, looking forward to Micky Jones' interview tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to, at the end of this, I'm going to play you a little snippet that me and Micky Jones, top TV casting director here in the UK. Not casting director. Sorry, forget the casting. He's a director. He directs Coronation Street, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, EastEnders. He's directed hundreds of episodes. I'm going to be interviewing him live online on actsonthis.tv tomorrow. All premium members of the site get access to this. You can come online, very similar to how you're watching me now, ask your questions live about how you get auditions for soaps, what it's like working in soap. Micky plays a big part in the casting of the soaps that he works on as well. And he's literally, honestly, I say this about everybody, but he really is one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. He's probably one of the most popular TV directors like in the industry. Everybody loves him. When I put the tweet out today to say I was interviewing him tomorrow, like loads of soap stars and stuff were favouring it and commenting on it, saying, you know, this guy's amazing. So if you want to be a part of that and come and join us for that, go to atsonthis.tv. Make sure you get a premium membership. It's only £10 a month. It's like utter no-brainer. Everybody's got £2.50 a week to invest in their acting career if they want, and the revenue from that goes to charity anyway. So it's not lying in my pocket. Micky will get a charity donation to give to a charity of his choice. I don't know who that's going to be yet. And that's, you know, that's us helping each other out in our careers, but also being a force for good as well. Atsonthis.tv, get your premium membership, 7:30 tomorrow night. You'll see a little article on the homepage all about it and how you can join in on that. Richard's going to be there all the way from Miami, so cheers for joining us on that, Rich. So let's begin reading this chapter. It's a medium-sized chapter. It's not too bad, so we shouldn't be too long at this. But it says, to be an actor with a healthy, happy platform to operate from in an industry that contests not only the ego, but also the emotions and psyche, you really will only benefit from having that good, friendly relationship with yourself. At the same time, many research psychologists believe there to be an epidemic of what is called narcissism, or egoism in the entertainment industry. I don't think it's exclusive to the entertainment industry at all. I think, like I say, with the advent of social media and filters on photographs and finding the perfect angle for selfies and all this sort of stuff, I think narcissism is not just exclusive to the entertainment industry at all. He says, that's not a really big surprise, though. Just read the news or watch many of the reality shows out there. There are plenty of people in the entertainment industry that prove the researchers are hitting the mark. It's probably been that way since the first humans entertained other humans with storytelling. If you think about it, many people who end up in the spotlight are there simply because they crave the spotlight. Certainly, there are many people who are just very creative, expressive, and have full imaginations, all of which need to be channeled through a craft of some kind. And they end up on the stage singing, dancing, acting, or speaking as well. Now, some find being in the spotlight rather uncomfortable, or just a necessary part of the overall job. And there are many who go into the entertainment field in great part because they have narcissistic tendencies that have driven them there. So basically, get people who like being creative and just love being on stage. Get people who actually like being creative and have to go on stage because, like, oh, this is part and parcel of the job. And you get these people who, for whatever reason, have been dealt very narcissistic tendencies from childhood. And that's what we're going to look at here, because these things don't just, you're not just born with them. These things very much are created from your experiences of life. Now, Justina says, and I agree with this, we all have the capacity for everything human. We're all human. We have the capacity for everything that is human. And each one of us has some tendencies towards narcissism. Those of us not labelled a narcissist by psychologists may still have some level of narcissistic tendencies or traits, meaning we go to similar behaviour in our weakest times. The most underdeveloped parts of us displays the traits. It's basically the ego showing up and taking over. And I feel like, you know, the ego can kind of be triggered at any time, can't it? You know, when you find out, like, I don't know, say you were going for the same job as a close friend or something like that, they get the job. I've had that in the past when I was a kid, when I was like 14. One of my best mates got a job on TV that I was going for a part in the same show. I didn't get that part. He did. Instantly, my ego wanted to take over and go, oh, well, it's fine. I'll do something better then. I didn't want to get that part or whatever. Because when you're young, it just kicks in. All this means that, as an actor especially, it's important to know the difference between narcissistic traits and the healthy and necessary development of self-love. So this is the difference. You can be narcissistic, or you can love yourself in a positive way, and we touched on that a little bit last week. What's going on here? Corey's wishing people had a great day at work. It's very nice, Corey. So yeah, narcissism is what people are referring to when they talk about the ego or conceit. It's considered a very real and painful personality disorder that comes out of deep fear. The fear of being invisible and unloved, and the need to compensate for that. It's an obsession with the self, driven by a desperation to be seen and adored. Anyone ever felt that? Anyone got any mates who are like that? You actually know deep down that they're super, super insecure, and yet you look at their Instagram page or their Twitter feed, and you'd be like, wow, this person's killing it. There they are with pictures with this person, that person. But actually, you know, when you get on the phone to them 10 minutes after they've posted that picture, they're in tears or they're like having like a terrible, terrible time. I've definitely experienced that with people who, you know, who I've seen post stuff and I've gone, oh, they've rang me up and I've gone, oh, how are you doing? You must be doing amazing. I can see all this stuff going on. They're like, I'm desperately unhappy. All right, Brian, how are we doing? Good to see you. Just going to block somebody who's just joined with a rather disgusting username. We're going to get a little bit trolled there, I think, but they've been blocked. Block that user. I hope they've been blocked because it just says they just invited all their followers. Don't want any of their followers. Lowry says, I think I might know somebody like that. I think we've all got people like that in our lives, and that's why social media is kind of dangerous if you're comparing your achievements with someone else's achievements, because like social media is very much based on a kind of reality. You know, it's not actually the truth. So let's have a look. So the narcissistic personality is considered to come out of a tremendously dysfunctional childhood. So this is where it's normally like bred for most people. So you know if people are narcissists, they've generally had it pretty hard as kids, okay? So they've got a dysfunctional childhood and the belief held deeply in a person's subconscious that they are fundamentally flawed and unlovable. And yes, the irony is, despite all appearances, someone who acts as though they are the center of the universe may actually have a deep fear of not being good enough. They may look happy, but they are inevitably desperately unhappy, just like an addict is miserable unless they are getting their fix, which for the narcissist is attention and adoration. Those are things that can't be relied on, and so life is a terrifying gamble for them. Because they're like, shit, I know people genuinely who get really, really screwed up over how many likes they've got on something. Like, honest to God, I'm not even joking. Like, and they obsess over how many people have watched their Instagram story or how many people have double-clicked on their thing or liked it on Facebook or Twitter and that kind of stuff. If you're trying to start something out on social media and gain a following, please just operate from a place of where like 1 is better than 0. And like, honestly, don't worry about how many likes you're getting right now, how many views you're getting on stuff. As long as you're enjoying yourself and you're putting out good content, everybody at some point in their journey has had 5 views, has had 9 views, 16, 54 views, 100 views, etc. before they got the million views or whatever. And very few people get the million views. I'd like to think my vlog would get a few thousand views, but at the moment it's getting like 400 or 500. And I'm fine with that. It's like, it's all right. We're only 3 months in. Not a problem. Full-blown NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Is that the official like title of it, Caroline? So yeah, don't get hung up on social media. That again, it's born out of people not feeling enough without those likes. So let's have a look. So where were we? Narcissism, in many instances, can come out of a person being raised and taught by direct communication, or by example that they are above everyone else as well. So it can go the other way. You can either be talked down as a kid or talked up. So yeah, they're above everybody else, and that they don't have to pay any consequences for their actions. They believe they are entitled to do or say whatever they choose, and their entire identity becomes based on this belief. They then take this out on the world, which will most likely not accept or reflect that back, and the world around them begins to corrode the picture, and a deep and unconscious fear of being discovered as fundamentally flawed begins to develop. People who suffer like this don't recognize their fear, often expressing that they feel good about themselves, yet in reality there's an underlying terror of not being enough. So again, even if you talked up as kids, you go out in the world and you realize it ain't all like that, then it hits you even harder and you end up feeling not enough again. They then compensate by trying to restore the picture for themselves that they are better than others. They act entitled to special treatment, take advantage of others to achieve their own ends, and show a pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, a self-involvement, and a lack of empathy. Some narcissists will do just about anything to get attention, as in the case with some celebrities who habitually act out. This is interesting, isn't it? Because they do this. Act out to trigger a frenzy of paparazzi and the media. A narcissist will also do whatever it takes to maintain the learned picture that they are not only better than others, but they are above everything, including the law. This is why, at times, we saw Bieber knocking out paparazzi and stuff. You know, I think he's probably a better person now, but pretty narcissistic, but it's going to get like that as a kid if 65 million people on your Twitter are saying you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, and you're above the law. You can see how that can screw somebody up. Interestingly enough, narcissistic traits can also develop when a child is taught to whatever degree that they are stupid, ugly, flawed, or worthless, imprinted deeply into their being. They will grow up holding those beliefs as true no matter what the outside world reflects back to them. That is, unless they discover and nurture something else. It's a fundamental human need to feel seen, heard, and loved. Without attention and touch, human babies are prone to have health issues, not grow as well or as fast as other babies, and have significant emotional disorders later in life. Something actually fascinating called failure to thrive syndrome, where babies literally just die if they're not picked up or held, or have contact. They almost like literally just give up on the world. So we do have an innate need for, contact with other people and adoration and love. Just got to have it in a healthy way. So let's have a look. We all need to feel seen and heard, let alone believe that our existence is of some value. And when a person doesn't deeply believe that, they will desperately try to make the world around them prove otherwise, and they will cry out for the attention they never got as a child by bragging, being demanding, and creating drama. All this doesn't mean people with these tendencies are bad. They're just scared, disconnected from reality, have been taught some very distorted perceptions, and have found ways to cope through their attitude and behaviours. Now again, just about every human being on the planet will display a measure of narcissistic traits at some point in their lives. Hellish people, says Caroline. Even if they are not diagnosed as being narcissistic, we have all had moments of acting arrogantly, being self-involved and craving fame, accolades, attention and superiority. We've all had that, haven't we? When you get into the industry and people all talk about, awards and funnily enough, BAFTAs, Oscars. My friend Rachel yesterday got nominated for an Oscar, which is a little bit mental to actually go, wow, that's actually happened to somebody I know. But yeah, you get into the industry, don't you? Because as a kid, you see all of these, awards and things, and people being on stage and being adored, and it seems pretty attractive, doesn't it? You're like, actually, you know what? Being an actor, if you're successful, you get all the money and the fame and the cars and the girls, or the guys, or whatever you want, and yeah, I think we've all had a little bit of that. Surely, I definitely did as a kid. Saw Michael Jackson on stage and was like, man, I want a bit of that life. Not the life he developed later on, just the life that he had when he was on stage. I was a bit arrogant when I learned how to do the splits. Said Steve. I'll make you do that at the next Stacks on This meetup, Steve. So yeah, we all have egos. Some of us have lived through periods of being obsessed, negatively or positively, with our looks or intelligence. I wish I was one of the Goonies. That's where it started with me, said Caroline. There you go, you see. But yeah, we've all been obsessed at some point with our looks or our intelligence, good or bad. That happens most understandably, and especially in a business where the product that's being assessed at all times is us. It's true, isn't it? You're constantly being judged for who you are as an actor. The real gauge of health and balance, though, is about where we live most of the time. These types of narcissistic behaviours, if occasional and a passing phase, don't necessarily indicate the personality disorder. It's just a part of being human and is something that can be groomed out of us. Or grown out of us. Read that wrong. Groomed, grown, whatever. Don't want to be groomed. We each have the opportunity at any point to heal the parts of us that are afraid, and we can do that with love. All starts coming back to love, guys, doesn't it? Give me some hearts. Everyone's putting the love out on Periscope here. If we truly understand that narcissistic tendencies operate out of fear, and that confidence and self-esteem come out of love, we also understand that self-love and narcissism are worlds apart. They're like polar opposites. You're just dropping all these innuendos tonight, says Bobby. I don't mean to do it, though, Bobby. I'm doing it by accident. So they're polar opposites, basically, narcissism and confidence, Love is the highest and most powerful creative force there is, and all the good in the world arises from it. Self-love is the natural state you belong in because it aligns with that good. If you have MPD, you're screwed, says Caroline. Hopefully, I ain't got it. Nothing can be done. She says nothing can be done. Hopefully, it can be. If you only have it occasionally, it can be grown out. You like it says there, Caroline. So when you're in your ego, you're afraid of not being enough. In fact, whenever you feel superior or inferior to another, that's the ego in you. And if you read a book by Ryan Holiday, great book, it's too complicated to do it on a book club, but it's called Ego is the Enemy. Ego will queue up. Seriously, ego is your biggest enemy. So yeah, whenever you're feeling superior or inferior, that's your ego that's kicking in right there. It's the most frightened part of your human self, and it's in constant fear of annihilation. It speaks through a filter of doubt and blame. It says you're a victim. It says that you're guilty, bad, wrong, flawed, or it decides that others are. Because of this, you may find yourself trying to control others or your environment so that you can feel better. The ego has us humans strutting around and getting attention in different ways because we don't feel like we're enough just being who we are. It's a lonely, frightening place to be. Love thyself, says Lowry Lowry. Exactly. Get with it is joined. Good evening. So, what would you notice if you were to stand in each place for yourself? Okay, so in fear and narcissism, or in love and like confidence, right? Perhaps if narcissism is the ego, it says it wants you to be the best. Love, on the other side, says it desires you to explore your own highest potential and wants the same for other people as well. And that's celebrating other people's success. The amount of people, I swear to God, when Rachel got that Oscar nomination yesterday in this industry who maybe... This is just the truth. It's just real talk right now, right? People she's worked with, I don't know, I'm not pointing at anyone in particular, but people she's worked with in the past on different shows, other people who, might have created a short film that's going for an Oscar nomination this year, friends, family, all these other people. I guarantee you there's going to be people who cannot celebrate that success for her because it makes them feel so freaking inferior. And then what they do is they just like eject. She got the nomination, Bobby. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. And yeah, there will be people who just like can't celebrate that success because they're like, oh my God, that's like less success out there for me now. And that's not the case like at all. These are the people who are like, that's the ego right there going, I have to protect myself right now because, I can't stand feeling not enough right now. So I've got to either like get myself out of this situation or not celebrate this other person's success, ignore it, pretend it's not happened, get my head down or whatever. And they're going to lose like full time. If you operate from a place like that and you can't deploy, gratitude, just ultimately for me at all times, I'm like, if I've got my health, I'm sweet. I'm all right. I literally have enough. All I need is my health. There's a lot of things I want, but all I actually need to kind of like be satisfied and happy is to go, you know what, I've got up this morning, I'm super healthy. I can go out there and I've got opportunity. It's fine. Them getting theirs does not stop me getting mine. But anytime, you feel inferior to someone else because of what they've achieved, that's just like the ego right there. And that's the the bad part of your psyche. Let's have a look at some other examples of how this displays itself. So, the ego says it wants you to seek fame and attention. Love says it desires you to be creative and of service. The same thing, really, but polar opposites in terms of what you're trying to get out of it. The ego says it wants you to put others down to feel more valuable by comparison. It has a sense of better than. Okay, love, on the other hand, knows your value and encourage others to know their own value too. Again, it's celebrating other people's success. The ego is disconnected from the feelings of others. Love is empathetic and compassionate. The ego is controlling and forces the self into things. Love has self-control, is kind and is efficient. The ego feels entitled and will only accept yes from others. Love feels worthy and can accept no. The ego is attached to appearance. Love is grateful for both inner and outer beauty. The ego is afraid of criticism and tries to control how others perceive them. Love trusts its own worth no matter what happens in the world. They're just so opposite each other. But you've got to kind of notice when you're hitting one or the other. And if you are feeling superior or inferior, or you're not feeling enough or whatever, that is just like your ego that's talking there. You need to get out of this and into this here. For those on the audio experience, I'm pointing to my head. Get out your head and get into your heart. So the ego seeks power over others. Love cultivates power with others. The ego wants attention from others. Love desires connection with others. Very different. The ego says, what can I get here? Love says, how will I contribute here? Super different. In the path towards loving yourself more, you can practice recognizing when the ego or your fear comes up and then be compassionate. Having an ego is part of being human. We've all got one. And however much you might like to get rid of it, you can't destroy it. It's always going to be there. There's a film I rather like. I haven't seen The Fifth Element. Who's seen The Fifth? It's like such a common film, isn't it? Why have I not seen the Fifth Element? But it's like, there's a film here. You'll recognise this if you've seen the film. There's a film I rather like, says Justina, called The Fifth Element, in which evil shows up as a massive sphere hurtling towards Earth. It's a beautiful example, this. The Earthlings, humans, us guys, decide to fire atomic missiles at this sphere in the hopes that it will be destroyed before it destroys Earth. Yet each time the missiles hit the sphere of evil, it grows, expands, and becomes stronger and fiercer. And the humans' missiles are sent out into space with violence and the intent to destroy. And the only effect they have is to increase the size of the sphere. This is because their missiles and the intention with which they are used are made out of the very same substance as the mass of evil. And that's fear. Okay, we can't fight for peace nor hate evil in hopes that we will win over it, or that it will go away. When we berate ourselves for being afraid, or we criticize ourselves for being critical, we're doing just what the Earthlings did in the film. We're trying to destroy a fire with a firebomb. If we get angry with ourselves for being afraid, defensive, or egotistical, we simply compound the fear. When we send hatred to the dark places in us, we only increase them. Fear is simply the absence of love. Fear is simply the absence of love, as darkness is the absence of light. The only way to transform darkness and fear is to return to love. Pretty simple. In the film, the humans eventually save Earth by using a combination of the fifth element, which is perfect human form. Don't really understand the film, so you guys will get that. Whatever they decided was the fifth element, perfect human form, and the power of love. Okay, the marriage of our higher humanity with that of love creates the essential self, which in turn creates a glorious light sent out into the sky, where it floods the sphere of darkness, dissolving it in a blaze of good. And that's that little chapter finished on narcissism. I just thought it was interesting because it's something that a lot of people kind of speak of, but ultimately what it's saying is just be aware of where you're operating from at all times. And if you feel in the acting industry, because it's so freaking... You know what? It's just easy in life to feel like this. It's sometimes just really easy in life to just compare yourself, what's going on, and feel like shit. Who's done it, like, in the last week? If you're completely honest with yourself, has looked at something online, someone else's career, and gone, oh, God, I should be doing better. I should be doing that. I've definitely been like totting up in terms of like audition opportunities this week. Miss Gypsy says me. That's just honest. Thank you for your honesty, Karen. I've definitely been looking at my going right. We're 24 days into January. I've not had an opportunity in audition yet, and I've seen other people around me having auditions. And that would be very easy for me to go, oh God, like I feel inferior. I compare myself to my cat. I wish I could have his life. You don't, Steve. I think it'd be pretty boring, even if it looks like a nice life. Bobby says he hasn't done this in a while. But yeah, it'd be very easy for me to go, oh God, right, something's wrong, something's flawed, and kind of act out in that. But really, I just need to deploy a little bit more patience, I think. It's so very, very easy. But every time, if you just realise that isn't really you, that's your ego, and you deploy compassion, like we just read in the book there, as opposed to berating yourself for feeling like that, or going, oh, you shouldn't feel like that, you're a terrible person, you're going to destroy it a bit faster. Otherwise, you're just going to compound it if you fight that, that insecurity with more insecurity. My dog has a lovely time, this is Caroline, and I always have a lovely time, but they can't speak, guys. So Steve says his cat's stretched out and asleep all day. That's going to get pretty boring after a few weeks, I reckon. I think as human beings, we won the lottery when we were born on this planet, a human being. Who would agree with that? I think definitely. Brian, do you agree? Brian says me to something. Yeah, you could have been born a cat. You could have been born a dog. This is the thing, again, gratitude, isn't it? Could have been born a tree or, your iPhone or something like that. But Caroline says narcissists have no compassion. They're incapable. Well, I like to think that, it's not irreversible. I don't think anything's irreversible, Caroline. You might have had, a terrible experience with a narcissist in your life that's created some limiting beliefs around you and a hatred for people like that. And I get it. But there's no one acts randomly. Nobody acts randomly. If you go back into that narcissist's life as a child, there will be events, I swear to God, because I've coached hundreds of people on this, not just on narcissism, but just on events in their life. And there will be events in their life that have caused them to act like that. No one behaves randomly. It's impossible. You behave to fulfill one of 6 human needs, and one of those needs that's a driver almost at the top, in position 1 or 2 for nearly everyone on the planet, is significance. To feel worthy. Now, the best way to get significance is to do good work and build yourself up. But for most people, they want to tear themselves down. MPD is different. I don't think it can be a physiological thing though. You can't. It's irreversible. I don't know. I don't know if it's anything irreversible. I mean, you could get narcissistic traits. Yeah, definitely could be reversed. I mean, if there's a genuine underlying biological chemical imbalance that can cause narcissism, I agree with you. I don't think that can be trained out. That would need to be treated by a real medicine. But I think in most instances, if people are just self-obsessed, narcissistic dickheads, you can probably train quite a lot out of them. I would hope to. Look up Melanie Tonya Evans. Is she a narcissist, or is she just study narcissistic people? I will look it up though. It's fascinating, isn't it? It is interesting. But yeah, one of those drivers, human drivers, is significance. And people will do anything to get it, and will very often tear other people down to feel better about themselves. So if you see narcissistic people, don't worry about it. Just don't be one. She's an expert on them, is she? I will look that up. I think it is interesting. Because we do see these traits a lot on social media, but it all stems from insecurity. These people who literally, have had social media ruin their life, where they're like, I have to take 245 pictures of myself for Instagram, in terms of before I find the one I want to post. I don't mean they post 245 a day. I mean they just take 245 from different angles. And I'm sure one person, I'm pretty certain, there was a suicide because someone was like, I can't find an angle where I feel I look attractive. And I'm comparing myself to all these people on Instagram, and I'm sure they at least attempted to take their own life. I don't know if they did or not. But that's that's just a bad place to be. And so I think narcissism, in a way, I don't say she or he was narcissistic necessarily, but in terms of it can be bred in people by social media and stuff, I think it can be. And that's just just a comparison. Brian says, you can compare yourself to people sometimes, and that can make him envious. Can for all of us though, mate. I mean, everybody, I don't care who you are on here, include myself in this, we all feel envy at times. It's just what you do with it that really matters. I think we all know in that sense, I have no vanity, says Steve. But yeah, you can use envy and some little insecurity in a positive way by asking yourself why you feel like that. And then go, well, actually, if I'm envious of this person because they have that, well, that's just what I want. So thus, if I'm not aiming for that right now, then let's just go and get that. It's not just vanity, says Caroline. It's interesting, isn't it? Like real psychological disorders. I'm certainly not an expert on any of those. I feel like I understand a lot about behaviour, but I'm certainly ain't a therapist. If people need serious help, you need more than a Wednesday night broadcast with Ross, I'll tell you that. Go and see somebody who's actually a professional in this. But it's just a fascinating topic. But I thought it was just something that we've not touched on in 245 broadcasts. This is 246, I think, tonight. And it's not a super lovely topic, but I just think we're more aware of people. I will look that lady up, Caroline. This is way too deep for me, says Dawn. It's just when you see people, Dawn, it's basically just like it will explain something. If you see people's behaviour, you don't like it, or maybe people are nasty to you, and they're all wrapped up and self-absorbed. Really, the message for tonight is that actually it all stems from insecurity. They're not probably really horrible people. They just don't feel enough. So one way to help them get out of that is to deploy compassion, help them deploy compassion in their own lives and for themselves, and we can maybe all help each other a little bit out of it. It's something that, you know, that you can just be aware of moving forward, I guess. Nick's here. All right, Nick. Trump does it. Watch him. What's that? Doesn't let people speak. Yeah, I think Trump could definitely be a narcissist, couldn't he? And that's got to come out of insecurity because of his hair and the fact that he looks like he's rubbed his face in some Watsits. But I'm not starting a war with Trump. He's got a nuclear button on his desk at all times, and it's bigger than Kim Jong-un's and Trump's works, apparently. So I'm not fighting him because I ain't got... Look, on my desk here, look at this, Trump. Might like an iWatch to you, but if I press that there, if I press that button, look at that. Buzz Lightyear, he comes up, and he will take you down. Those on the audio experience, you missed that. Buzz Lightyear's on my iWatch. Right, well, that's kind of like, you know, the message for tonight, really. Don't be a narcissist. If you see narcissists around, don't be threatened by them. Just know that they're acting from a place of insecurity. Try and help them. Be compassionate. Help them deploy compassion. And just be kind. You know what? Just be kind. Let's try to make this industry kinder. How would you rate the acting industry out of 10 for kindness? Never asked this question before. Do you find most people you meet are kind and are rooting for you? Or do you find most people don't want you to win? What's your experience of that? Have you ever found people not able to celebrate your success? 8, says Dawn. That's a high mark, Dawn. Ross has got a part in a short film, says Brian. Brian, fair play, mate. Keep us posted on that. Good on you. So we can celebrate that success because I'm not a narcissist, Brian. And that does not mean there's one less short film out there for me to be in. That means we could be happy that you are in it, which is good. Someone just said a 6, I think. But yeah, I found overall the industry's, at least on the face of it, seems pretty supportive, I think. There's definitely some total dickheads I've met over the years who definitely want people to lose. Like 100% cannot celebrate anybody else's success. And have to be the centre of attention all the time. And you'll find one of those people generally in almost every acting workshop you go to. There'll be one who's super loud, who has to get all the attention, who has to comment on everybody's performance, who has to laugh very loud at anything the person who's taking the workshop says, even when it's not funny. You'll definitely get one of those people, but that's totally because they are operating from a place of not feeling enough. It's so obvious. Everyone in the room can see it. So it's something to look out for. I want to play you this before I go. I just want to play you a little 2-minute video me and Micky Jones made about tomorrow night's live broadcast. Like I say, for all premium members of Acts on This, go to actsonthis.tv, grab a premium membership for just £10 a month. Cancel any time you want as well, by the way. And have a little look at what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Here's Micky Jones, the nicest TV director I've met in my life. I'm going to morph into a black t-shirt. You ready? All right, everybody, it's Ross here from Act On This with a very special announcement. This Thursday, the 25th of January 2018, I'm going to be doing a 100% live and interactive broadcast over on the main site, actsonthis.tv, with none other than the king of serial drama, Mr. Micky Jones. He joins me right now. Micky, good evening.
Hello everyone. You okay?
How are you? Are you excited for this or what?
Actually, do you know what? I am, Ross, yeah. I'm quite looking forward to it.
It's me and Micky are going to be live for around about 60 minutes from 7:30pm to around about 8:30pm, depending on how long we can bribe him to stay online, answering your questions about casting, acting, directing, anything to do with the industry that you want help with. You can get answers from the comfort of your own home. Micky, you give him a little bit of a motivation here. Why should they be joining us?
Well, I think if you come and have a little gab with us, you'll get some little pearls of wisdom, which will help you on your way to a successful career as actors.
Yeah, potentially changing your this guy, literally one of the most popular people I've ever met in the industry. Everyone who's met...
don't off, build me up.
No, but Micky, everyone literally before I met you, everyone who I mentioned your name to, oh my god, you've got to get Micky on the site. This guy's like a total legend. So I very much look forward to having you on. Get yourself over to actsonthis.tv. It's for all premium members. It's a no-brainer. Get a premium membership. It's just 10 quid a month. Revenue from premium membership goes to charity. Mickey's going to get a donation to give to charity of his choice. So you're not only helping yourself get further in your acting career, you're helping me support some great causes as well. So Micky, I'll see you 7:30 p.m.
I'll be there, Ross.
You'll be there. I'll be there. You better be there, or you're majorly missing out. Bye for now. And there was Micky. What a little legend he is. He's so nice. Seriously, he's just like... I've gone back to my blue T-shirt now. Such an awesome, awesome guy. We shot that last night. I just did a little technical test with him. So that's basically the setup for tomorrow. You're going to see him. You're going to see me. You're going to hear us both. You're going to be able to ask your questions in a little chat box under the video. We'll answer them. Like I say, Micky works on... He's directed hundreds of episodes of Emmerdale, Coronation Street, Hollyoaks and EastEnders. He's like the serial drama king. He does a lot of casting with the casting directors at all of those shows as well. So definitely make sure you come and join us 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Those on the audio experience, unfortunately, depending on when I can get this out, it's going to be either tonight or you've already missed it. But if you go to actsonthis.tv, you'll be able to watch the replay. So that's it for tonight, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. We had a little look at narcissism. Oh, if you want to get the Justina's book, How to Be a Happy Actor in a Challenging Business, just go to Amazon. It's dead cheap. I think you can get the Kindle edition for like less than a tenner. The paperback or the hardback edition, I think, is only around about 12 quid, I think. But it is a very good book. Just wish you'd called it something a little less twee. But yeah, go check it out. I will be back on Monday for some more motivation and mind hacks. No idea what we're going to be talking about. And episode 1, season 2, episode 1 of my vlog is out on Monday as well. And then on Tuesday, God, it's an exciting week next week. Tuesday, I'm going to be launching the first in a series of 3 videos that I put out each time Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. My mindset program comes out. That's going to start next Tuesday. The course opens for registration on the 8th of Feb, I think. And then it closes for registration for this year on the 15th of February. If you want to be on the invite list to that, it's only going to happen once this year, and then it goes away till 2019. Go to bulletproofactor.com. I will look up Melanie, Tonya Evans as well, Caroline. But yeah, bulletproofactor.com if you want to find out more about that program. It's definitely transformed the lives of a lot of people, quite a lot of them on this broadcast now. And Rachel did take Bulletproof Actor just over a year ago, Rachel Shenton, and just got nominated for an Oscar yesterday. So, not saying it's all down to Bulletproof Actor, but I think at least 99.3% of it was. So, if you want to win an Oscar, get the program. But yeah, bulletproofactor.com to find out more. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Massively appreciate you all, and I'll catch you soon, all right? Bye for now.